James writes us, he's moving here from New York, and he's asking in this email, New York requires sellers to disclose, this is a true story, disclose if their property is haunted. Yes. Now, by the way, it's called the Ghostbusters ruling. I know this sounds a little hard to believe, folks, on a Sunday morning, but I looked it up. Go to Wikipedia and just look up Ghostbusters ruling. You'll see there is a ruling. So James wants to know why Louisville and Southern Indiana do not have similar requirements to disclose if a property is haunted. And he's serious about this.
Yes, and it's not something we should be scared of. Haha, no pun intended.
We got it.
But that is correct. In Kentucky, we do not have a requirement for sellers to disclose that. There are a number of things that they do have to disclose, and certainly they are happy to disclose that of their own free will, but that is not something that's included. Now, that said, if they are asked directly the question, has someone died on this property? Or are there ghosts? I suspect it's probably not going to be the ghost thing. It's going to be, has someone died on this property? Then you are required to tell them. So if you know that someone has and you're asked, you can't lie about it. You don't want to commit fraud, but you do not have to share that information. But I do want to tell you something. Again, I mentioned free will. You could certainly disclose that up front. If it is such a notable death that may have occurred, that it would have gained maybe some media attention. Maybe a quick Google of the address would have revealed the type of incident, however gruesome it may have been, that have occurred, that would be a severe kind of blight on the property and affect the marketability of the property to potential purchasers. That can really put somebody between a rock and a hard place, because if they sign a contract, find out before closing that this was kind of a infamous property where some deaths or murders may have occurred, then of course somebody may want to back out, and they may say, hey, this was material. This is a material, misrepresentation. And even though they didn't have to tell them, they could try to squeak out, because again, it significantly affects the marketability if no one would ever want to live on the property as a result of whatever act may have occurred. Okay. So I've seen that happen before. I've seen people fight about it. So that's always a good conversation with counsel, certainly conversation with your real estate agent. But technically speaking, the law in Kentucky, no, you do not. As for why, maybe because Ghostbusters wasn't shot here. I don't know. There could be some jealousy, about that. We've got a few skyscrapers, in our downtown scene.
Yeah.
But no, I can't answer as to why.